in this program are designed to develop fundamental skills. It is extremely important as an athlete or coach that you execute them with proper technique in order to avoid possible injury. To reduce the risk of possible injury, consult your doctor before beginning any exercise or skill development program. The producers, participants, and distributors of this program disclaim any liabilities or loss in connection with the information presented in this product.
Hi, I'm Greg Strobel, head wrestling coach at Lehigh University. We're here to show you some and pinning. Why ride the guy out unless you just need a few seconds for riding time? And back points, we're going to be looking to pin a guy. You make that happen. What I'm going to do here is just quickly go through some terminology so we know what we're talking about. Near leg, far leg, that's pretty simple. A near leg Turk, way different than a far leg Turk or a step through Turk. Okay? And just to talk about the concept, step through Turk, which I'll be showing second, is one where I step through and hook up a leg on the far side. Okay? So that would be the step through Turk position, which we'll go through in a little bit. Near leg Turk is just a leg ride on the near leg. Now, a couple things to think about here. I either want the leg ride at the knee or I want it way high in the thigh to get the maximum pressure. My objective is to turn the guy over, okay? And a lot of times in wrestling, guys will just go down. I might tight waist him, come on up to referee's position. I might just tight waist him, boom, and he goes flat. As he goes flat, I'm gonna climb aboard. Just climb up on top, and I'm looking for him to come back up. And when he comes back up, right here, the leg is sliding in, okay? Once I get this leg in, I got some pressure that I'm going to apply right there. I can put in either leg. I can put in what I call the outside leg, or I can put in the inside leg. In other words, I've got... So either leg can go in. And there's quite a variety of ways of getting that leg in. Just right there from a breakdown I can do it, or I can just tight waist, boom, when I knock him sideways, the leg's exposed right there. This is real simple. Boom, leg comes in, and I've got a Turk coming up, okay? So I can just knock him sideways right there. One of my favorite ways to do it, because I react to the pressure of a guy going forward and backwards, is I might jam him hard and trying to take him in that direction, try to break him down, but what he tries to do is resist back, because he doesn't want to go there. So as I drive him this way, he drives back that way. And so I take that pressure as he drives, and I just push him with my hips. Okay? So I'm driving, I'm pulling, and this foot blocks right behind his ankle. Pulling the toe out, and now my hips push hard against his hips. Once this leg breaks down, he's going to his side, and so I've got him right where that's a real cool way of getting the leg in. From this side, here's what it looks like. I'm driving on a tight waist, and I would like to break him down if I could, but he's a tough kid. He isn't going. So I block the ankle, and I take his momentum and just push into him right there. As I push in, this heel goes under his knee right there. And I got him in a Turk, or I got a leg right on him. And I've got him broken down right here so I can start to get, in effect, my turn. Couple things about leg riding that I believe. I want to stay on top. It means I don't want to be underneath him, and I want to keep my hips as parallel to the mat as I can. Okay? Here's what I mean by that. Come here, James. Doesn't matter how you're facing. If I throw in a leg like this, which is a grapevine on the leg, which is slightly different than what I've just been showing Turk-wise, if right here he puts his hip down, right hip down, I'm underneath him. Right now I'm underneath him. And my hips certainly aren't parallel to the mat. They're perpendicular to the mat. And right now, I'm just scrambling to keep a hold of him. Now maybe if I'm real tough in here, I might be able to power half and get my hips back on top. Now I'm in good position. But if he knows what he's doing right here, he's grabbing my foot, scooting down and away, I'm scrambling to hold on to him, and it's really a fight that I'd rather not be in. So I'd rather not be Turking a guy from down, or leg riding a guy right here. All that started from throwing the legs in while he's still on his knees. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. This is pretty good wrestling if I know what I'm doing, and I can keep him from knocking me to my hip. If I can use my free leg to drive, then maybe I can keep him up here. You know, and maybe I can crank up high enough that I've got him. And there he comes and tips over. But usually, if the bottom guy knows what he's doing, he's going to stay tucked. He's going to keep this at a short angle and an acute angle as opposed to stretched out. The further I get him stretched out, the easier it is to turn him. It's going to make it hard. So I would rather get him stretched out before I even put the leg in. That's why I like knocking the guy sideways, throwing it in, and he's already stretched out. He's already halfway turned, in other words. Okay? Or I'll block, I'll pull, block, and push. He's halfway over. He's already on his belly. And my hips are parallel to the mat, and I'm on top. That's where I want to be. All right? So it's just a couple ways to get in there that is extremely effective. One of my other favorite ways to get in is, and this is just a real common thing, high school, college wrestling, I'll block. I'm blocking with my knee on his knee, and then with my other leg, I'm going to hook his ankle right there. Great ride. I hooked his ankle. I got him right. I'm riding him. But rather than just hook the ankle and pull, I'm going to slide it in deep. See that? I slide it clear to the bend at the knee, and then I can hook that and pick it up. Then from here I drive, leg comes in, and I've got him. Okay? And that's kind of fun to do, actually. We practice that. I practice that quite a bit. Face that way, and I'll do it one more time. I'm riding him. I hook his ankle, and right here, watch this. I just let that slide clear down. Not just keeping it ankle to ankle. I go knee clear to ankle, and then clamp on it. From here I drive, and once this gets to be perpendicular, that's what's going to cause him to tip over. So I drive, he tips, and the leg comes in right there. My heel comes in by his knee, and I've got a Turk going. All right? It's a near leg Turk. How do you turn a guy with this? See guys get in this all the time, and they don't turn them. We want to get some turns, okay? I'm going to block him, hook the ankle, drive. There's the leg coming in, okay? So this is my magic position. He's going to try to stay belly down, right? What I want to do is what I call break the hip over. What that means is his hip right now is parallel to the mat. Stop for just a second. Let me get my leg out. I want to take his leg and his hip and lift it and break it past 90 with my hips. Okay? Now to do that, a lot of coaches teach this actually. They teach going at a 45-degree angle across the guy right here. And that's not bad. But instead of going at a 45 across the guy, what I like to do is I like to apply pressure to that hip, and I actually swing the leg with my legs along the midline of his body. Bam, just like that. So in reality, I'm going parallel to him. I'm not going at a 45 across. I've got the leg locked, and I'm taking that leg, and I'm swinging it over so it breaks past 90 right there. All right, now remember what the rule was. Always stay on top, try to keep your hips parallel to the mat. Once his hip breaks over, there's a tendency for kids to lay on their side to try to keep it tight. Problem is, I'm perpendicular to the mat, and if he hits a high bridge right now, he could bridge up high and come up on top. But if I stay parallel with my hips and he bridges, he's going to float right under me, which is where I want him to be. He's on his back, floated under me, and I'm going to catch him. So you want him to stay under you if you can. Don't go on your side. Don't be underneath him. And I yell this all the time, don't I? Yeah. Keep your hips on top. Stay on top. Stay on top. Because there's a tendency for kids to want to roll underneath the guy, and that's where you put it into a scramble situation. It's going to be hard to stay where you want to be. The first thing, in terms of turning him, is I'm going to do what I call break the hip. All right? Legs coming in, I clamp it tight, and I swing my hip and my legs along the midline of his back. That's what brings the hips over. The other thing, I want to turn his hips before I worry about turning his upper body. Turn the hips first, turn the legs first, the upper body will follow. So his spine is taking a nice twist now. Hips are parallel to the mat, or perpendicular to the mat. He's trying to stay chest down, but I'm not going to let him stay chest down. Here's what I do. And this is something you got to do, by the way. This is one of those things that's a truism in wrestling. Whenever you try to Turk a leg, and I try to turn him, you always have to either catch the head or catch underneath the arm. If I have both hands on this side and I try to turn him, he's just going to switch into me and he's going to come up on top. Okay? I have nothing to hold him down. But if I have my hand here, he can't turn into me, right? He can't switch into me because I got my hand stopping him, or I got my hand underneath his arm to stop him. Okay? So that's critical. If you're going to turn a guy, that's critical. So we're back here. We got this Turk going. I'm cranking on him, and I've got his head blocked. Notice this. I do this different than most people. I put my hand on the mat right there. I have my hand on the mat because I'm using the mat and my weight as friction to keep him there, as opposed to using my bicep to try to pull his head. I let my hand move along the mat, and it takes less strength. And I don't wear my arm out trying to hold the guy, because a lot of times when you pull a guy across, that arm is only going to last about 40 seconds. And then it doesn't have any more power. You lose a lot of your strength. You got to replenish it with new blood coming in there. And the way I do it, by using the mat, I don't run out of power. Okay? So we got this Turk going, near leg Turk. However we got into it. Now I'm down, I crank, and I pull his head. I pull his head with my forearm. Let's switch this, come on, right there, there we go, good. I'm pulling his head with my forearm. I might go under the chin, but I really like to be right across the face. Notice one other thing here. If I come down low, he has no room to turn over to his back. My chest is on his back, and I'm keeping him from turning. So I want my chest high, so he has room to move underneath me. And I literally pull him under me, right here. And the way I do that is I stay arm's length away from the mat. I stay high. I've got my hand posted on the far side. Keeps me high so that he has room to move underneath me. And I literally pull his head under me, right there. And I want that arm trapped against my chest. And that's where I'm going to get my near fall points. It's really pretty hard to pin a guy with just a near leg Turk right here, because he still has so much flexibility in his spine that it's hard to get the shoulders down. But I'm at least going to get near fall points, which is kind of fun as I pull his head across and get that, okay? Once in a while, as I go to Turk a guy, they'll post that hand out there, and they're real strong, and as I try to Turk him, he posts that hand, and I don't get it. So I don't get him pulled underneath me. That hand is really strong out there, that arm. I got the hips going, but that arm is blocking me. So what I do here is I dive this arm in, and I literally dive it in. I just take my hand like a blade of a knife, and I slide it in deep so that my elbow goes deep clear to his elbow. Okay? And I do this with a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure that direction. And so I crank. I feel that. He's got that arm blocked. I'll come in deep, and then I'll put my hand on his back right there. The back of my hand goes on his scapula, and then I'll change directions, and I'll come back the other way. And I'm looking for near fall points right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is extremely powerful. I've got him going this direction with my legs. I'll dive in an armbar on this side, crank his elbow up high and tight, and then I come back the other way. Now the cool thing about this, he can't roll to his left because I've got his arm. He can't roll to his right because I got his leg. So he's really at my mercy. And I'll just hold him there. I'll make sure I get my near fall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I get the near fall, I still want to be on top. Notice I'm not on top here. I'll slowly release the legs and kick them out and come up with an arm bar. And that's where I'll go for a pin, right there. So I'll keep that arm bar, kick his legs away from me, keep him on the back. So I'm taking him to the right, and then I'm taking him right back to the left, and hopefully looking for some near fall points. And that's against those guys that are real powerful, and they put that arm out to stop you. Once in a while you get a guy who's got really flexible hips, and they'll flip their hips over, and their chest still stays down. On this one, I'm turking the guy, I'm driving, I'm cranking, but he's so strong I'm not getting him. Okay? I can't quite turn him, I'm not getting the turn that I want. So what I do right here, watch this figure 4, watch my footwork here. I let go of the figure 4, and I put my foot behind his knee right there. Okay? Once I do that, I'll set up on him. Notice where I take the right leg, clear up by his armpit, and then I set up right here. From this position, and I'll show it from the other way too, my foot's on the mat, my leg is acting like a lever pulling his hip over, and I've got his hip past 90, and I'm in a position right here where I can do some things to his upper body to turn him. Doesn't matter how flexible he is right here. From right here I can just suck him back to his back and hold him for near fall points. Or I can put on a half Nelson and look to turn with a half. If it's freestyle, I might reach back and grab the foot and just go for a tilt. Got the leg in, I'm cranking on him, but I'm not getting him. He's not letting me have the arm bar, I'm not able to turn him. So I let this toe, I release the figure 4 and I let that toe come behind his foot. And then I set up on him. I call this position right here, Ride 'em Cowboy. And we practice this, don't we? As a matter of fact, what we practice here is, his job is to get his hip back. And if I'm in the right position, he can't get his hip back down. Go ahead and just give me a little bit of fight. He tries to get the hip down, and I'm not letting him do it. It doesn't take much power on my part. If I'm a little bit too high, go ahead, he'll tip me back over. Okay? But if I'm setting down hard enough on his hip, he can't tip me back over. In the meanwhile, a couple things to do here. This is not a headlock. This is just a backwards head and arm. I'll just reach in. You can't grab his head. That'd be illegal. But I can grab just underneath his chest and just suck him right back into my lap and hold him right here for points. Okay? And again, I got the leg in so he can't turn away from me. And if he tries to turn into me, I'll block that arm right here. I'll block that arm and he can't turn into me. And all I'm looking for here is near fall points. It's real hard to pin a guy from that position. Okay? If it's freestyle, I might reach back and grab the ankle, either under or over. It doesn't really matter. I'll catch that, and then I'll just go for a tilt. As I lift him up, and there's just a tilt. Probably not going to pin a guy with that, but you are going to tilt the guy pretty well. Okay? The other thing I like to do from here, let me flip this onto the other side. I can suck him back, or I can go for a power half. When I power half, it's my wrists are going over the top. I'm not locking my hands in there. My wrists are going over the top, and I'm taking the head right here, and I'm driving him, and I want to drive him straight over his shoulders, right there, stacking him up to pin him. Okay? If I can't do that, if I can't drive him straight over, I'm going to take the half, release the legs, and come over and be chest to chest, and ready to drive him over. And that's the way most of the kids will do it. Not everybody can tip them right up on their head like that. So just half Nelson, jump off, you're ready to turn the guy. Quick review of that near leg. You're going to knock the guy down, legs coming in, hips staying parallel, and instead of going at a 45, lock in a figure 4 or heel to toe and swing the hip over. That's what's going to turn him. And then drag his head under you to get some near fall points. Okay? You can bar or you can come up to Ride 'em Cowboy. And then just suck them back. And it's a nice little turn right there. We'll suck back to a turn. If I'm riding on the left side, any kind of leg ride on the near side would be a near leg Turk. And any kind of ride where I got the far leg, where I step through, and there's a variety of ways to get here. We'll get to them in a little bit. But this would be an inside or a step-through Turk. Okay? Now the cool thing about an inside or step-through Turk is it already turns his hips most of the way. Okay? Right here, as I lift that inside leg, his hips are past 90 already. So by being in this inside Turk, I've got him at a disadvantage on application. As soon as I apply the hold, he's already at a disadvantage. Okay? But people run into trouble turning. And I'm going to go through all the ways and how, and the concepts of how you turn a guy over and how you pin him. So we're going to go finish first and how to get there second. Once I get an inside Turk, the only way that this guy's going to get his hips back down would be to get his top leg through, and it'll go back down. Okay? So if I keep my body, and especially my hip, between that leg, he can't get that leg through. Right? You can't get the leg through, it won't go. I've got my body and they're blocking it. The other way that he could get out would be to get my leg unhooked. If that unhooks, then he can pull his bottom leg out and his hip will go flat. Okay? So let's turn just a little bit so we can see just the legs a little bit better. I'm in a step-through Turk position here. Once I get my hip through there, the only way he's going to get his hips back would be if I put my hips back a ways and he crawls forward and gets that knee through. Okay? If he crawls forward right here, if I got my hip in contact and he crawls forward and I don't follow, or maybe I put my hips back, he'll get that leg through and he'll be back to belly down. I don't want that to happen. The other thing that may happen to you here is he may get this leg unhooked. If he unhooks that leg right there, I don't have it hooked anymore, all he has to do now is hip heist. Just raise his hips up, get it through, and I don't have him. Okay? Now, understand this concept. I've got to keep my leg between my hip in contact with his, and his leg in the air. That's all I have to do, and he'll never get back to the position that he wants to be in, which is belly down, as opposed to his hip halfway turned. Okay? So what I'm going to do, I've got a step-through Turk. I'm going to put my hip in contact with his hip, and I'm going to lift my heel in the air. That keeps him from unhooking it. If I put this foot down and start to drive with it, he'll unhook it right away. Okay? But if I keep my heel in the air, he can't unhook it. And if I feel he starts to slide that loose, I'll use this heel just to tighten it up. I'll pinch my knees together. I'm not going to lose that hip. I'm not going to lose the leg, and I'm not going to lose the hip pressure that I need to turn him. Okay? Now, in high school, this is where I learned this. I learned pulling the leg to you like that to try to get him. Problem is that takes my hips away from his hips, and if he's squirrely, he's going to bring the knee through, and you're going to lose him. Okay? Plus, I'm not turning him the way I want to turn him. I want to turn this guy. Now remember the near leg Turk. Remember the near leg Turk where I had the leg, remember this? And I turned him by applying pressure and swinging the leg across the midline of his back and really going parallel to him. Stay right there. Step through Turk, hip in contact. To turn him, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to go parallel to his body. I'm going to lift. I'm going to drive to keep everything tight. And then I'm going to take this leg and swing it over the midline of his body. Okay? Now stop right there. Freeze. Look what that did to his hips. Not only are his hips past the turning point, not only is he belly up, I've actually over-rotated him. Okay? I didn't freeze right there. I actually over-rotated him. That turns the upper body. Okay? Now the hard thing for kids to understand here, and I get on my guys about this all the time, they'll get into this position and they'll want to turn the upper body. And they spend all their time trying to turn the upper body when really all I need to do is turn the lower body. If I turn his lower body, look at his upper body turned. He's already on his back. And I did nothing to his upper body. It just happened. When I over-rotated the hips, he turned all the way. You got the inside Turk, step through Turk going. And if I pull that away from him, it doesn't turn the hips. What I want to do is I drive with my free leg, keep my heel in the air. See that put him to belly up. But I want to go further than that. So I swing this leg over the other leg. And when I do that, it over-rotates him, and the shoulder and his chest is going down. Right here, I'm in near fall position. I haven't pinned him yet. I'm in near fall position. None of that required upper body strength or upper body effort so far. It was all just legs, turning him with your legs. Now in practice, what we do, the way we train our guys to turn with their legs here, is we have them start with one guy on his side, belly down, other guy with a step through Turk, okay? And we start with just hands on the mat because I don't want them to use their hands. And the bottom guy struggles and tries not to get turned, and the top guy turns him just like that. By just rotating my hips and bringing that leg across, I turn him without hands. You know, look, Ma, no hands. So I got him turned. That's the drill to learn how to turn a guy with just your legs. Don't do that in a real match, though. Okay? And I'll tell you why. Just like on a near leg Turk, if I turn him without grabbing his head, all he has to do is switch into me. Okay? And here's what that'll look like. In a real match, if I don't grab his head and I turn his lower body, he just switches into me and he's up on top. Okay? And you don't want to be there. I don't want him on top. I want to be on top. Okay? So the drill on turning somebody is learn to turn with your legs first, turn with the upper body second. And the drill there is don't use hands to get started. I want to emphasize that a little bit more because there's a tendency for most people to get anxious and want to get that pin, and they'll crank the upper body and lose the legs. Once you lose the legs, he's going back to belly down because you don't really have anything on him with your upper body holds. You don't have a bar, you don't have a half, you don't really have anything. You just have his head held, and so he isn't going. So it's important to turn the legs first and keep that secure if you want to keep him on his back. Okay? Let's look at how to seal the deal now. Let's look at how to really pin the guy. Up until now, you're able to turn him. Now let's look at how to pin him. Okay? You got your partner on his side. You got your inside Turk going. Now, again, I do this hand on the mat. I don't want to grab his head and pull using bicep power or shoulder power. It's going to wear out. I'm going to use the mat for friction. He can't turn into me. And I actually will want to go across that arm. See how I want to be on the other side of the arm? Pull him down and start to pull. Okay? Pull him down and all the weight's on that. Also note, just like a near leg Turk, if I put my chest on his back and try driving or pulling, he has no place to go. I have to have room for him to come underneath me. So I'm going to drive, I'm going to let those hips float over, turn him with the legs first, see where the upper body went? It turned also, because it's going to do that. Hand is under his head, and I want the arm trapped. Okay? Now a lot of kids, and I see this all the time when I watch high school matches, guys will get here and they'll put a half Nelson on a guy. Nothing wrong with a half Nelson. Half Nelson's a great thing. But when I go to turn him, there's really no pressure. Okay? Actually, if I'm going to half, I'm going to have to let go of the Turk and dig a deep half. And that would work. That's not bad. But we're not going into that today. I would rather have the arm trapped. And I'm going to show you how to trap that arm sometimes when you don't get it. Because if you trap the arm, that's where your real pressure is going to come from. Turk going, hip to hip, hand on the mat, drive, rotate the hips, and the upper body starts to turn. Now we're ready to seal the deal. Hand on the mat. Everything's trapped. And I'll actually sometimes push that shoulder down right there. Referee, this is cool for referees. They can see that really easy that he's going to get pinned. And right here I tighten it up. It isn't tight with my legs at all anymore. But boy, is it tight with the upper body. You can actually take the wind right out of your opponent right here. Be careful, you can break his ribs actually. Okay? But I'm taking his body, and his body's twisting like an S right there, and pressure down with my chest on his arm. He's pinned and can't move. Literally. Right?
I'm done.
I have to actually let him breathe for a second here, because it does take the wind right out of him. Okay? That just walks around. I'll actually hold the mat right there. It takes almost no strength on my part, and so I can endure forever here. But if I'm pulling with my bicep, I'm going to run out of power after a while. The friction of the mat, the weight of my hands, I'm using gravity and friction to hold him in that position. Okay? On the real flexible guys, because once in a while you'll get a guy real flexible. I used to do this where I'd reach back and grab his foot. Referees didn't like that because it kind of twisted knee locked him. So instead, I'll reach around, I'll catch him above the knee, and I'll come up here and I'll cradle that. And this is extremely tight. He isn't going anywhere. And you can just kind of settle it in until you got the pin. Okay? So let me show that real quick from start to finish in terms of the turn, pulling the head, and the pin. And then we're going to come back with a plethora of positions that you can get that from, because it's kind of fun. This is the inside Turk. Once you learn this, you're going to be wanting to look for it all the time. Okay? I've got my step through Turk. He's belly down. He's belly down. I'm going to go under his hip face. I'm going to first thing turn with the leg. So heel comes in the air, drive with the free leg. That's the foot right here that I'm going to drive with. I drive, and then I swing that leg along the midline of his back to turn his upper body. I'm staying high, so he has room to move underneath me. And right here, I'll push that shoulder down, and I'll tighten it up. And right here, it is real tight. He can't turn away to his left, and he can't turn to his right. And if he's real flexible, I'll come back here and I'll cradle it up. Okay? Once in a while, you can even step off of that and go to perpendicular to him. Arms between his legs, and everything is chest down. This is really tight. He's not getting off his back. He can't go away from me, and he can't go to me. And he's just struggling right there. You're going to get the pin. The neatest thing about this is having that arm trapped on his chest. Because the only way you can get off your back is to get an arm through. You can't get off your back without getting an arm through. And if I can trap that arm to his chest, he's not getting an arm through, okay? So it's extremely, extremely tight. Guys will just go flat, because they're not good wrestlers. They go flat. Heck, I can Turk the near leg. I can be on him right here. And I've seen this in international competition where a guy just reaches down, catches a guy at the heel, jacks the leg up high, and steps through. That simple. So it isn't real complicated. You can just reach down, grab the leg, pick it up, and step through. That's why it's called a step-through Turk. Okay? Same concept. He's on his hands and knees, and I might give the official the old optional start deal, right? Optional start, and just reach down and pick up the leg. And there he is. He's trying to squirm away. I'm stepping through, Turking, and I've got the Turk that I want. Okay? And that's really simple. That's not hard to do. Just reach down, grab it, take it. If this were freestyle, some of the tricky ways that I'll get an inside Turk here is I'll actually twist the knee right there. Reach down and grab it, switch hands, lift high, step through. I hook his leg, twist it just briefly, reach back and grab it, and right here just lift at the knee. Notice the other one coming underneath, step through, and I've got him right where I want him. Into a step-through Turk. Okay? A lot of times, flatten all the way out, on a process of a takedown, you might end up with a guy right here. Now in high school, referees will count to 5 and say, you're stalling if you hold that leg. Okay, right? In college, there really isn't that rule. But they're still looking, if you're just on a guy laying on that leg, that could be deemed stalling. Okay? Now, no extra charge for this. I could go for what I call a folded leg Turk. I just lift the heel, put my heel under his knee. This is extremely tight. Arch, and take him over, and just keep that leg. And once I get him on his back, the referee doesn't care if I keep that leg. So that's just a folded leg Turk. But if I've got that leg up anyway, I just step off to the side, lift at the heel, my knees come under. See how my knees come under to hold that? I'll switch, step, Turk, and I've got him. Okay? So it's tricky little leg work that'll get you into a Turk series from there. All right? Those are just a couple things you can work on and play with and invent some stuff for yourself. A lot of high school kids, a lot of college kids know far ankle, far knee. We're going to up that, make a little bit better move for you by going far ankle, inside calf. And the reason for the inside calf is the control that it gets you with that inside calf. I can control his leg with one arm that way. So the critical thing here is the outside ankle. I'm catching that and I'm driving. Notice I'm going to drop my shoulder into his side so I have some position on him right there. This hand's coming to the inside thigh as I drive him over, and I drive him to his hip right there. Okay? This is the control I need right there. My thigh, or my forearm is on his thigh, and I'm hooking at his calf so I can hold that leg. Once that leg is hooked and bent, he can't straighten it out. I can hold that right there, and he can't straighten that out. I have enough power there because of the bend and the lift in that leg. So if I were far ankle, far knee, I would have just his knee right there. Well, I can't hold anything there. He can straighten that leg out. He can do anything he wants. I have no control with that. By going to the calf, it gives me a lot of control. All right? So come on back up, because I'm going to show the cross knee turn in freestyle. Far ankle, far knee, drive, and right here, I switch the hand from the outside to the inside and catch the heel. So this is the freestyle turn. Right here I've got fore ankle, inside calf, and I've knocked him to his side. Right here I'm going to run my bottom leg over his leg and put it on my thigh. So I run the bottom leg over to get to the other side of him, and then I torque him up to his back by pumping into him right there. Okay? And in freestyle, that's worth 2 points. And it's a nice little turn. You could do it in folk style, but it's hard to hold a guy for the 2 count for the official. In freestyle, all you got to do is turn a guy over to his back, so you're not worried about it. Okay? So this is the cross knee turn itself. I'm driving, locking it in right there, running the bottom leg across. Right here I put this on my belly, and then I torque into him. Go belly down. Right here I just torque into him. Drive and turn him. Now if I'm really tough, I might be able to hold him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and get the near fall points, but I certainly won't pin him. That's the turn, cross knee turn. From that I've taken this and adapted this inside Turk and even to an arm Turk from there because of the control that you have of that lower leg. Okay, so watch this. The cross knee turn probably won't get me points in folk style. And in folk style, which is college and high school wrestling, I want points. So I drop, drive, put him on his side. Now here's a critical element. If he's on his hand, up, get higher. If he's on his hand, I don't have the same control there. So I got to bump him down. I want to push into him with my back. And I'd really like him to go belly down. I'd really like him on his side right there. On his elbow is okay. Arm's length away isn't okay. So make sure you knock him down on this side. Okay? Now once I've turned him to this position, I'm not going to go cross knee turn on this one. I'm going to push the top leg over, and I'm going to step over the other leg, and guess where I am? Step through Turk. Driving, bumping him to his side. Right here, he's trying to keep his legs up. I just push it. I take my hand, thumb up, and just push this leg across. I split the legs, in other words. Because I have so much control with this lower hand, I just lift his heel in the air and step over it. Okay? At this point, I bring my knee up by his thigh so that he can't crawl away because he doesn't want to be here. He's going to crawl away. I don't want him to crawl away. And by having the leg hooked and my knee way up by his hip, he can't crawl away. This is a lever that he can't crawl away from. Okay? So that's keeping him from crawling away. His other safety option here is to get this leg through. If he can get that leg through, I don't have anything. So I keep the hand on the knee, and I let this hand come out and on his back. And at the meanwhile, this leg will slide up, and I'll put my hip in contact with his, and now I've got a inside Turk right there. Okay? So the place that you're going to lose this guy is making the transition. I've knocked him to his side. I've got the bottom leg controlled, right? I've got the bottom leg controlled. I'll push it away, split him. This muscle really isn't that strong, by the way. I can push that with my hand. Push that, split him, step over. Right here, my knee is coming up by his thigh to hold him. Don't lose the knee over on this side. If I let that go, he's coming through and I don't have much. I'll lose him right there. So keep that knee until you replace it with your hip. Also, the other way that he'll get out of this is he'll over-rotate and just roll through. Just like that. Now you don't have anything. Okay? I don't want him to roll through. I want to keep him on his back. And to keep him on his back, what I'm going to do here is this hand that was holding his leg on his thigh, as soon as I trap it with my leg, I don't need to hold it with my arm anymore. This hand's going to come out, and I'm going to block him right there. I'm going to put it on the mat, and I'm going to put my elbow into his back so he can't roll through. So he can't roll through, and he can't turn into me. I've got him held right here. It's a great place to be. I change and put my hip in contact with his. Now I've got my Turk, inside Turk, and I'm going to look it over, and I'm going to pin him right here. Okay? That is the classic cross knee turn series to an inside Turk. It's just, we drill this all the time. We work this all the time because it's such a great place to be. Okay? Now once in a while you're trying that, this guy, he doesn't want to get pinned. Nobody steps out there thinking, oh, I want to get pinned in a step through Turk. They're going to fight everything you do. Okay? So once in a while, as I turn a guy with this move and I get him right to here, he might figure for his legs. I can't split him. I can't get a hold of this leg anymore. See that? I can't get a hold of that leg because he's figured forward his legs, and he's just fighting me right there with it. What I like to do here is I go to an arm Turk. If I can't do a leg Turk, I'll do an arm Turk. This gets tricky. Listen carefully to the words. Right now my left hand is in between his leg holding his calf. Take my right hand and I'm going to slide it into that opening. See that? So I have both hands between his legs. At this point, I'm going to come up and I'm going to pull my left hand out, leaving the right hand in. So there's going to be an arm Turk. I'm Turking him with my arm, not with my leg. Now, same rules apply here as a leg Turk. I've got my leg between his. He isn't going to get that hip back as long as I keep pressure with my shoulder. Okay? Now from here, he's trying to stay belly down, and I want to turn him. Okay? He can't get back through because I've got this leg in here. Now, most people, stay right there for a second. Most people think they can just lift him with just their arm. Problem is, in this position, my arm isn't very strong. I'm trying to lift away from my body like that. And good grief, that's not, you're just not very strong there. So instead of just being chest down trying to lift him here, I'm going to turn my back into him, and I'm going to lift this leg and set it on what I call set it on the table, which is this, my thigh. Once I set it up here, it doesn't take a lot of arm work, okay? So I put my back into it, lift, set it on the table, and from here, I might drive elbow deep. And I'll reach around and look for a bottom leg cradle and look to pin him right there. Boy, this is a great place to pin a guy from, right there. All right? So you got just an arm Turk to a cradle if you want to cradle the guy. Cross knee turn, drive. He's keeping his leg hooked, or maybe I just want to get the arm Turk anyway. I'm going to switch hands, get the other arm in there. I'm going to take that hand and put it on his back, and I'm going to lift. Okay? If I can cradle him, I'm going to cradle him. But sometimes I can lift and start to drive, and right here, swing this arm around his shoulder and catch him right there. And we're in the same position we were in earlier when I was showing the steps we Turk. The arm is trapped, and I've got him on his back right there. Okay? So it's just a real great place to be. A couple other little options here too. I'll drive, push. Sometimes this leg will come out, and I'll actually end up with a half on the leg with the ankle. So I'm right there. Sometimes referees get a little upset with this, but as long as you stay down by the knee, you can hold the guy. And what they get upset with is if I bring that up by his hip. Now you're twisting the knee and it really takes it to a bad angle. So if you're going to do this leg half, make sure you're staying down by the knee. And from the knee, watch this. I can just pick up his lower body really easy. Just pick up the lower body, stack him right up there. He can't go anywhere. Okay? So it's an easy pin. I've got an arm Turk. I'm getting ready to turn him, and he rolls through. Now you end up with what a lot of people call a navy. I like to call a reverse arm Turk. Okay? He's trying to go belly down. I've got my leg between his. And again, I'm just going to lift and pull him right over back to his back. Okay? Or, go and belly down. I'm going to pull him up and set him on my lap, which isn't a bad place to turn him from either. I've got really good power. I'm setting him on my lap. I'm real vertical. I'm pulling him over to his back. And I'm looking to make that adjustment and come down and catch the head. Boom. I'll catch him on his back, or I'll take him all the way through, and now I'll end up with an arm Turk, and I got him right where I want him. One of the other ones that's really tight, that once in a while we'll get here, we'll go arm Turk, or step through Turk here, split this off, right? If I can't get that one, I'm gonna go arm Turk, I'm gonna lift, and I'm gonna set it on the table. So it's sitting on the table. I don't need this hand anymore. If this knee is hanging down like that, and sometimes I'll even push it down. He might have it up, and I'll just push it down. Right here, I'll step over that. This is a big knot. He's really tight. Then I'm going to reach back and grab his head, and really without holding him very much at all, he's on his back, and it's an easy pin. Referee can see him there, and he can't turn to me, he can't turn away from me. He's pretty well locked in. Okay? I see that every once in a while, not a lot, but every once in a while a guy will start that arm Turk and just step over with the leg and you have the guy anyway. Remember we did this one? Optional start. Boom. Just pick up the leg and Turk. It's that simple. It's really that simple. almost the same position. He's on the mat. He's on the mat. I'm going to try to ride him here. Most people like to stand up. Go ahead and stand up. As he stands up, well, rather than just push him and say, okay, let's go on our feet, I might as well take him down and go into an arm Turk, or inside Turk, okay? And this is what I call a redrop. Go ahead and go back down on the mat. Right here, as he stands up, boom, 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 I'm going to take my inside hand and I'm going to shove it across, okay? My outside hand, he's starting to come up, he's trying to peel that hand. My outside hand is going to come down and catch him at the knee. So the outside hand slides to the knee, inside hand slides to the thigh, and I lift and drive and Turk on the way down. Okay? And I call that a redrop, and it's really easy to do. This guy is coming up, he thinks he's getting away, and I might even bait him and let him come up. Okay? Ready, go. He comes up, boom. And I just take a half a step, I'm sideways to him, I lift, drive, Turk, and he's coming down, and I got him right where I want him. He stands up, and I anticipate it. I step right in front of him. Okay? If I pick it up and drive, we'll hit the mat, and I'll end up in what I call a claw position here. Claw meaning I've hooked right around his chest. What I'll do if I get a claw on a guy is I'll go ahead and tip him for points, but it's hard to pin. Once I've tipped him for points, I'll pull the arm out and come around and catch the head so the arm's trapped. Once the arm's trapped, boom, tighten it up, seal the deal. But if you get a chance to get a guy on his back and you got him right there, don't spend much time adjusting. Just get him there and get your near fall. I'm just clamping and driving, get your near fall, because you never know how much this guy is going to be able to react and jump into things and do things on you, okay? Let's just say, for instance, we're wrestling, and I shoot a double, and as I shoot a double, I take him to his side and he locks on my chest, okay? So bam, I hit him with a double, he locks on my chest, and we go to our side right here. Real commonplace in wrestling. He's locked on my side, I've got the double. Now what leg do you suppose is most important to hold on to here? If I let go of the bottom leg, he can extend that leg, and I don't really have much. See how his hip came out on me? Okay. If I keep just the bottom leg, top leg doesn't do him any good, does it? So apply your power to the bottom leg. I hit the double, and I want to catch the bottom leg, and I'll let go of the top one and reach down and grab the bottom one. Boy, look at this. Turk position. Okay? Now a lot of times what you see guys do here is they'll run over and they'll Turk both legs. And that's fine because you're going to get a takedown. Okay? That's fine. You'll get a takedown. But let's get more than a takedown. I just soon Turk this guy, pin him, get him out of the match. All right, we hit a double. Boom. Go to the side. He can be locked around your chest. It doesn't matter. I'm going to Turk the bottom leg. Okay? And he can be squeezing. We actually do this with the guy squeezing. Problem is, I can't get this shoulder out. I've got a Turk going, I can't get the shoulder out. Okay? To get the shoulder out, there's always space by your belly. So it's like getting out of a straitjacket. See how I create a little space there? I put my hips in the air, and this arm slides through by my belly, and I shove it out. And then I twist, and I've got an inside Turk. And there he is. He's in big trouble. So the longer he holds on, the more likely I am of getting a Turk on him. Sometimes when you're wrestling, you get into a scramble. Maybe you have a single, and hip into me a little bit. And you duck between his legs, and you pick a guy up to here. Real commonplace in wrestling. By the way, don't let him trap your arm in, because you're stuck and you can't get out of that. Okay? Now what I do here, a couple things. If he's loose on my head, I'll just take this leg, throw it up over the other one, and let it come down. Notice I caught that? Boom, step through, got a Turk, and I got him right where I want him. Okay? If he's loose, I'll just bump him off to the other side. One more time. Head, he's loose. I'll keep one leg, I'll take the other one and throw it off, and as he falls, I'll trap it right there. Turk, split, step through, on his back, looking for the fall. Okay? Pretty simple. Pretty simple. But you got to look for it. If you don't look for it, you won't get it there. Sometimes you pick the guy up into that position, and he gets tight on your head, okay? At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that leg down and go to an inside Turk another way, okay? He's here, he's a little bit tight. Don't try to do both because I can't do both. I'm going to catch it right at the heel. So that, I want maximum leverage on his leg. So I'm going to catch it at the heel, and I pull that down to my opposite hip. And as I pull that down to my opposite hip, I'm going to stand on my head right there. Turk, but I got to clear my head out. So I look up for this knee, hold it down, and push my head out. Right here I have a takedown, okay? Or will have real soon. But I've got to get this arm out if I want a Turk. And again, just like the double, hand comes through by the belly, shoves through, catches him on the back, slide up the leg, hip to hip, and you got him on his back for the fall. Don't limit yourself to the ones I'm shown. The neatest thing about wrestling is you can invent it for yourself. Figure out other ways to do it. I've just hopefully primed the pump, and you'll figure out some other ways to get into it, because I really think getting that inside Turk is a great way to pin some people. Okay, we've done it from a double. We've done it from a low-level single. Let's do it from a high-level single also, okay? Let's just say I shoot in a single on James, and he puts the leg on the outside. I have a saying I say around here when pick up the leg. So you want to pick this thing up high. What I do is I jack my outside arm in deep, boom, pick up the leg high, okay? From here, I'm looking to Turk right there. So I'll grab his head, pull it to me, step in and Turk. We come down, we hit the mat. I got the leg in the air, he's on his back, and I'm holding for some points. Okay, real simple. It's not very hard to do. What I got to do to make that successful is I got to be close to him. If he's way out here away from me, it's going to be harder to do. So I want to jack myself up that leg a little bit, and I can't just reach and take the leg. I had to grab his head first so I have some security and I can control where his body's going, because I don't want to go down to the mat out of control. So I'm going to grab his head, pull it sideways. When we hit the mat, I'm going to come down with control and hopefully keep him right there on his back. Okay? So that's one way to do it from a single. The other way to do it from a single sometimes is instead of reaching in here to Turk, I'll actually whizzer the leg down and back up. And there he is. Matter of fact, this is the same position we had when the guy was in parterre started up. I'm going to climb the leg, and there's the Turk, and driving him to his back. Okay? And actually, sometimes a guy will go to kick out on you, even here. He turns to kick out. Right here, I catch the thigh. This is real important. I've got my arm on his ankle right there, but I'll catch the thigh and climb the leg. Okay? I catch the thigh, climb the leg, Turk, and I've got him. Okay? So I can either force him to go forward, got the leg up, force him to go forward and climb the leg, or if a guy just turns to kick, catch, climb the leg, Turk, and he's in big trouble. He's sorry he ever tried to kick out of bounds, because I catch him as he goes out, pin him right on the edge, you know? It's a lot of stuff on Turks. We did the near leg Turk, the far leg Turk, ways to pin the guy. It's a whole lot more about leg riding, but this is real basic stuff that I think will work for anybody, and it works in both freestyle and folk style. So good stuff. Why not learn it? Good luck to you.
Thank you.